Hi guys, Lindsay here with Storybook Family Farm. So, I am notoriously good about not watching the news, not keeping up with public events, or current events, or worldwide events. And it's for very, very good reason. It is not anything to do with me trying to bury my head in the sand. It's the simple matter of there's no need to, which might seem kind of crazy to a lot of you that are, kind of in lieu of like freaking out about things that are going on in the world and, inflation and all the other things. But, and honestly, like, complete honesty, like, I stopped keeping up with current events about 3 or 4 years ago. So it was definitely 3 years ago. Might have been closer to four. I'm not sure. But the reason for that is no matter what is going on around us, our response still has to be the same. My response still has to be the same. From the place of being a homesteader, no matter what the rate of inflation is, my goal is still the same, to grow as much of my own food as possible. Sure, the numbers look a little bit different now, and things are a little bit more costly now than they were before, but my objective, my main goal, my life, my world is still the exact same world as it was a couple years ago and stuff. Still doing the same exact thing of trying to grow as much food as possible, trying to preserve as much food as possible, and also to grow my own skill sets and my knowledge of other different sets of like things to do, like candle making, different ways to preserve food and building things, and just learning different ways of growing food too. Like, it's a never ending journey of learning and self-discovery once you start homesteading. If you're a person like me, I love to learn, so I always want to just keep learning and keep growing and keep diving into more things. But like, I watched a video on YouTube last night, where the guy was talking about, all the things that are going on in Israel and how, people need to be freaking out and panicking. And like, he wasn't actually telling people that, but that was basically the gist of the video of, if you haven't already started like getting ready to take care of your own family, you should really start now because things are going to get bad. Things are going to get sketchy, blah, 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 blah. And it's kind of annoying because it's like, if people are not already aware to the fact that the world is kind of like in shambles right now, no matter how many times you tell them, they're not going to figure it out. Like, you're wasting your time. This video is for those that are like me, that are like-minded, that see that the world is kind of falling apart and that are going, oh my God, what do I do? And now I'm going to tell you what you got to do. It's the same thing you've been doing. Just keep taking care of yourself. Like, it doesn't matter. I've had people tell me about how, there's all these immigration things going on and all this stuff. And I'm like, so what? Who cares? They're like, well, they're going to steal our jobs. And I'm like, there's not that many jobs anyways. Like, the jobs that the people that are immigrants are taking are jobs that people that live here don't want to do. That's why they're able to hire the immigrants to do these jobs. Like, I worked in a meat factory, okay? Most people from this country were like, I'm never going to work there. That's beneath me, blah, 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 blah. So most of the people that worked there were immigrants. They were very nice people, very kind people and stuff. They weren't taking our jobs. The reason that they were hiring so many immigrants was because of the fact that no one that lived here wanted to work that job because it was really cold in there and stuff. Like, these people are just more willing to do what we don't want to do. Like, who cares? And stuff. Like, and I know that seems callous and jaded, but the reality of it is the same. Like, if your job is something that can easily be replaced by somebody overseas, chances are it's going to be replaced. Like, companies got to do what they got to do and stuff. Like, but the bigger thing is that I like to focus on is food. So people are saying that there's not enough food now because there's food shortages and all this stuff. There's not enough food to go around. And, if all these people keep coming in and everything, then there's not going to be enough food. Well, newsflash, before all these people started coming in, there wasn't enough food. Like, this country automatically imports most of its food. You want to know why? Because it's more expensive and stuff. Like, they can export their food out for other countries to buy it, make more money, and then import from poorer countries at a cheaper rate. That's how the system works. It's not that there's not enough food here. It's that, well, that's just kind of the game, is to make more money and stuff for the government. Like, that's how it honestly works and stuff. And like, if you're really that concerned about food security, grow your own food. Like, that's the best way that you could humanly possibly like have any sort of security, is to do it yourself. Sure, it's great to go to farmers markets and support local vendors and local farmers and things of that nature, but true food security comes from doing it yourself. Comes from knowing how to create food, how to grow food, how to find food, how to forage for food, how to make heat. These are things that are very important, that no matter what turn the world takes, you still got to know how to do. You still need to have shelter over your head. You still need to have food in your belly, water to drink, and food to keep yourself warm and to cook like food. Like, not food to keep yourself warm. You know what I mean? Wood to keep yourself warm. Words are hard this morning. But like, that's what I keep thinking about is like so many different homesteading channels now. They like go into the nitty gritty of, you know, that we're on the brink of war and blah, 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 blah. Wars are always going to be happening. That's the cold, hard truth. My entire life, there's been nothing but wars. Like, it's just ongoing, never ending. And that's how it is. War makes money. Like, when you realize these things, that the grand plan, the grand scheme of things, none of this stuff matters. It doesn't matter who's in control. It doesn't matter who's in charge. The things are still going to happen the way that they're supposed to happen. The way that fate is making things happen, the way that destiny is working and stuff, it doesn't matter what party gets in office or any of that hubbub. Like, none of that even matters. What is meant to be will always be. And the cold hard truth is things are going to be bumpy for a while, like quite a while. And if you're watching this and you're like, oh, well, how does she know if she doesn't keep up with current events? Guys, it's because I'm not an idiot. Like, common sense. If you look around, you can see that things have changed and things have gotten more difficult. Things have gotten more expensive. Even if that's the only reason that you want to grow food is because things have gotten more expensive, that's a pretty darn good reason. Because honestly, that's what got us into homesteading, was because things were too expensive for us to buy. Oh, I got a whole bunch of little chicks running over to say hi to me. They probably think I have food because I've said the F word too many times. Oh, guys. Talk about food too loudly and you got scavengers coming. But, yeah, these guys, we hatch them out from eggs ourselves, from our own hens. So they're pretty stinking cute. But, yeah, like, there's just another example of why you should be growing your own food and raising your own food is because you can look at cute little chicks like this and stuff whenever you want to. But, yeah, so that's why I don't watch the news. That's why I don't keep up with stuff, because honestly, the baseline, the default, what we ought to be doing is still the same, no matter what's going on globally or, you know, in the local sector or anything. It's still always the same response. Grow a garden. Take care of your chickens. Milk your goats. Take care of your other breeding birds and stuff. Take care of your meat supply. Whether that be you raise rabbits, you raise birds, you raise, you know, whatever and stuff. It's still the same base thing. You're still living the exact same life. You're still caring about the exact same things and just keeping the wheel moving of, you know, being more self-sufficient and more sustainable and stuff. It doesn't, you know, when you look at things that way and you go, okay, even if the world imploded and everything we know disappeared, the same things that you're going to be looking for are always going to be the same. You're always going to be looking for food. You're always going to be looking for shelter. You're always going to want to feel safe. And in the wintertime, you're always going to want to feel warm. Like, it's, our Neanderthal ancestors have this figured out. Like, it's not a big complicated process here, but, you know, society tells you that you have to be afraid of all these different things. You have to be in freak out mode all of the time, and you have to look over here and look over here and look over here and look over here, so that way you don't feel safe and that way you feel filled with fear. But the reality of it isn't even that. The reality of it is, if you just look in the mirror, you know who you can count on and stuff. That is the biggest reality. And like, there's a lot of money to be made by having people scared. There's a lot of money to be made by telling people that they have to buy this or they have to buy that, so that way they're safe and secure. When the reality of it is, you don't have to. You can turn to yourself. You can trust yourself. You can rely on yourself. And it is so much more of a peaceful existence, because then you just keep living your life, doing your daily thing, and you don't have to worry about the whole smoke and mirrors act of, you know, doom and gloom is coming, everybody be scared. No. The sun will still rise. The sun will still set. The moon will still be full once a month, or even, you know, on the occasion twice a month and stuff. It's all still going to be the same. This is all a cycle, guys. Like, this is what happens. If you look back like 100 years ago, kind of the same things going on here and stuff. You know, it's not that hard to figure it out. Like, but yeah. So I just wanted to share this video with you guys so that way you understand that, like, not every homesteader is like, ah, and stuff about what's going on. That there's a lot of us that are just silently going, okay. Like, our baseline is still the same thing. Our MO is the same exact thing. We're still going to be doing the exact same thing even if the world burns down. And that's a place that is very filled with peace and with comfort, that I really hope that at one point all of you guys can enjoy, because it's, you know, quite a nice existence. Like, yeah, it's a lot of work, but to not have that level of stress and that level of fear every time you turn the TV on, pretty nice. But yeah, so if you're enjoying our content, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends on social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to help us grow. We'd greatly appreciate it. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.